What's going on, people? Mike C Town here, Dead in Hip Hop, here with another solo review. Hopefully, you guys got a chance to check out my review of the latest Billy Woods album. If not, I will throw a link into the info section down there, so be sure to check that out. Today I'm talking about the newest album by Uncommon NASA entitled Land of the Way It Is. I first got hip to NASA and Uncommon Records through NASA's first group, The Presence. I randomly picked up a copy of Common Man's Anthem, and just based on one track that I heard, called Members Only. This is members only. Only those with lives can be here. Nobody with fear can be here. That track, by the way, has one of my favorite beats ever. Since then, NASA's dropped many albums under the moniker of Adam Warlock, and now Uncommon NASA. His records really kind of teeter on the line between boom bap and experimental. I say that because he has that kind of MC Search style, and if you think that's a diss, you clearly don't listen to MC Search. But he still has that kind of off-kilter flow. I love NASA's style. I love the way he rocks a mic. I like the way he flows on a mic. He's very unorthodox, but at the same time, he's still listenable, and he's definitely a spitter. The last album he dropped was 2011's Dark Weapons, which was an unorthodox, choppy, crazy EP that I thought was fucking dope as shit. What I immediately noticed has changed with his newest album is the production. While the production is still crazy, instead of the more choppy beats that I'm used to him spitting over, NASA's rhyming over more cohesive and almost accessible beats. He still has that unmistakable New York flow, and I'm saying, like, when you hear this dude, he can be from nowhere else but New York. New York spews from this man's energy. Everything about his being on the mic says NYC. The record starts off with Starlin', which is a really, really dope song, but jumping ahead, I gotta talk about War on Bicycles. Man, the fucking beat on this shit is crazy. It has like this really nice guitar sample with some live drums, and NASA's flow is a bit easier to digest for your average rap fan than I'm used to, but he still got that slightly choppy steez that I like, but it's a little bit easier to immediately pick up. But again, he still has that smooth ass NYC flow. A lot of the songs on this album deal with his life as an average lower class cat coming up in New York, and nothing sums this up better than Pasta with Butter, which may be my favorite track on the whole album. Pasta with Butter, prepared by my mother. This is a track about life as a kid without the luxury of money, but still not feeling like you're a worthless piece of shit because of this. Like, he starts off by saying most cats live in times like these, counting degrees on a thermostat. A lot of us have been there. A lot of us can relate to tracks like this. He also talks about being on free lunch, coming home hungry, to options that aren't exactly appealing. But he's always got pasta with butter, prepared by my mother. Songs like this hit home for me because, shit, I grew up like that. I was actually talking the other day with somebody about how when I was a kid, I would eat this stuff my mom would make. It was like this rice pudding dish that was really just like white rice mixed with milk and sugar and maybe a couple other things. I don't really remember. But it was basically her signature dish that she would make for me because the night before we always had white rice and fried chicken. She didn't want to waste all of the rice that she made, so she'd make it into a breakfast dish. You know what I'm saying? So I feel this jam, you know what I mean? The album moves into Background Check, which has this nice, dirty, distorted bass. This was basically about his naivety as a youth, coming into his own personality. I really like the line about being around black people in the South and feeling like they were just waiting for him to say something stupid, because he was white. I like the idea, like, look, black people do not have a monopoly on prejudice. You know what I'm saying? I like how he flips the whole white guilt idea on his ass. And it's basically saying, like, look, stereotypes are fucked up no matter who they're referencing, not just for blacks, but whites too. And that's an angle that I don't think many, especially white rappers, really take a stance on or even bring up in their music. I really like how it ends with the I am not the brothers you see on TV over and over again, over and over again. It moves into one of my favorite songs, which is Kings, which has the dope hook that immediately just gets stuck in your head. Who are we? Kings. Let me throw in right now how much I like the way NASA does hooks. He has a great way of making them catchy and getting them stuck in your head. And they're not like silly, I'm at the club throwing my hands up type of hooks. They're just, they're just that old school hip hop type of hook that just, you start repeating and you don't even know it after a while. It was nice hearing my man Te Amo Denko on a track. Dude is fucking dope as shit. Keep your eye on the product like prison guards. Come home with battle scars. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather build pyramids on Mars than get work this hard. Like, dude was going in. Another one of the standout tracks for me was Frequent Flyers with Prince Poe. Fucking amazing beat. I really like the way the beat starts and NASA jumps on it. It's fresh to me. Some other features include Aeon Gray, Elucid, Atari Blitzkrieg, Open Mike Eagle, and there's some other ones. And all of them lay down some really nice verses. And one thing they do is they complement the tracks. No one sounds like NASA. So it's nice that he can jump on a track with these type of dudes and they still sound like a cohesive team, but none of them sound similar. Weirdest song on the whole album is Left Coaster, but dude, that's my kind of shit. It's got this super dirty, super choppy beat, right? Like old Co-Flow style, or like really like old school NASA style. The whole time I'm thinking, how the fuck are these guys rhyming on this beat? Like, the beat is crazy. The only song on the whole album that I wasn't a huge fan of was the very last song, The Future. And the song wasn't bad. It just really didn't move me the way the rest of the album did. But shit, 1 out of 12 tracks is a pretty good fucking ratio for an album, especially nowadays. Overall, I thought this was a really good listen. I love the way NASA straddles the line between boom bap and experimental, which he's always done, but I think now he's really coming into that sound. And pretty much every song on this whole album was a headbanger. And I like how, as typical with Uncommon Records releases, he's pushing to move minds away from the typical rapper mindset. That everything is about chicks, money, and flexing on people. He's giving you an album that makes you feel certain things as well as makes you think about certain things that you may not have thought about before. I carry a bag of axes through the land of cliffhangers. They ready to growl like the IRS tracking taxes. Like, this is definitely the kind of record I feel like I can recommend to all kinds of hip-hop fans, right? Like, I think your experimental hip-hop fans of people like LP or Anti-Pop will get something out of this. And I also think your average underground rap fan of stuff like Casual or Dell or, Action Bronson or B. Dolan or, like I mentioned earlier, C. Rays, they will definitely get something out of this. So if any of that stuff appeals to you, man, I definitely think you should give this a shot. This is a great album. I'll put the link to purchase it in the info section. I urge you to go at least give them a listen. And if you're not familiar with other NASA releases, you can go to their Bandcamp and give all their shit a taste. And if you're not familiar with other Uncommon Records releases like Acid Rain, Masai Bay, Dick Vonnegut, Carnage, all the other shit, man, I urge you to give some of this shit a listen. This is one of the more interesting underground hip hop labels out that I think gets unfairly ignored. That's my take on Uncommon NASA's Landed the Way It Is. Go check it out. Leave me some comments. Let me know what you thought of it. And as usual, thank you for living. Thank you for loving. Thank you for being you. Peace, bitches.